talk about Worldcoin. We love talking about Worldcoin. It's really surged into the headlines in recent weeks, largely around the hype and interest relating to artificial intelligence, AI. Now, word of this raise had been leaked a little bit. According to sources, this was going to be in the works, and sure enough, today they announced that they've raised $115 million in a funding round led by Blockchain Capital and involving A16Z, Bain, Capital Crypto, and others. Let's talk about Worldcoin. I think this is less a bet on the value of another coin and more a bet on the importance of systems that may counteract the rise of AI. And that's very much a big part of what is being announced here by Blockchain Capital in a post written by Spencer Bogart. He talks about this proof of personhood concept as being the real secret sauce behind this project as the AI rises up. I'm going to toss this one straight to Jen for her initial thoughts. Worldcoin certainly been in the news quite a bit of late. What do you make of its most recent backing?
$115 million. This is crazy. I feel like we haven't spoken about a raise this big in at least a year. Maybe we have. All the days just kind of blend together for me. But Zach, you're right. I think about 2 weeks ago, we spoke about this new product that they launched that offered up a solution for authenticating humans in the age of AI through this like biometric retina scanning orb. And I think it's really interesting how they've been able to pull their narrative together, right? So now they're offering a solution to an issue that we've been discussing as AI accelerates faster and faster. And they also have this crypto wallet that's part of their product that's supposed to be this really stripped down, much simpler way to hold your coins and store your assets. And so I think that they've developed a really interesting narrative, especially given what's going on in the news right now with wallets and AI. And they have some big backers here, right? They have A16Z. I think I saw Bain Capital there. And so I think that they probably were able to craft a really compelling story, get that in front of VCs and raise this money. I think it's strong and good bet for VCs who are waiting out the bear market. But Zach, I saw your hand go back up.
Yeah, I just want to do one last kind of note on the narrative before we maybe riff on this pivot to AI that people in the world of crypto are very fascinated by. But I think like as it relates to the story being told here by Blockchain Capital, which is the lead investor, credit to them for really leaning into it, right? In the announcement, Spencer Bogart is very much like, I thought this was an Orwellian nightmare. And then we did our research and our opinion has changed such that we're willing to invest major dollars in this project going forward. So to funders and projects out there, I think that's a fantastic way to communicate a message. Lean into the controversy, lean into the stuff that's already out there in the ether being discussed about this project. Don't try to sweep it under the rug, but tell me that you know of some of that drama and tell me why you're not daunted by it. And I think that was a really effective sort of technique here in announcing this funding round. So that's just the last thing on the narrative, but I definitely want to toss it to Will for his thoughts on Worldcoin.
Yeah, I mean, nice to them to pivot, but at the same time, basically, there's a token you can always get out of your investment. So I don't think it was too risky for them here in the long haul. I think maybe the question here is like branding, imaging, and marketing in the future. A lot of people do not like Worldcoin, and for very specific reasons. I think it is Orwellian, like you said there, Zach. People think like Bitcoin and Worldcoin are sort of like two very distinctly different projects. One very libertarian ethos, the other more authoritarian, or at least like kind of like getting that way, right? Like maybe the people at Worldcoin wouldn't say it's authoritarian, but there's definitely something there with the fact that they're scanning everyone's eyes or like keeping this data on different repositories. They are anonymizing it, but a lot of people have concerns about this, and I think for good reason. So we do have like a little bit of a clash there. Now to the AI stuff, I do think that like we need to set a little context here because it's a great part of this conversation. A lot of people do think that crypto can be something that does solve AI. So not just like a Worldcoin solution, but think about like the public-private key pairing, right? So we do see some people be like, hey, why don't I log into a website with my crypto tokens as opposed to logging in with Google or logging in with my Facebook account, right? So a lot of times these Web2 apps, they use Facebook or they use Google to make sure that you're a real person interacting with their real product. But people don't always like that, and they don't like their information being leaked. So there's this new project called Sign In with Ethereum. It's been around for a few years now, and it's sign in with my public-private key pairing, keep my information, and the website understands that I am a real person that owns this wallet. Now, Worldcoin kind of goes a step further, right? It's like I'm going to scan your face, I'm going to get your data, I'm going to keep it, and then there's going to be some sort of token associated with it. It's a little bit different. But that being said, like the general idea of crypto and AI solving the problems that they both bring to the table are there and are present, and this is just an extension of that. Adam, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, I'm not convinced there's too much there, honestly, between sort of blockchains and the world of AI. The world of AI is moving in kind of a different pace, and although it is possible, certainly, and there are some problems that could be solved, I think that these are both disruptive technologies on their own trajectories and will remain so for quite some time, even if there are many projects. And I have talked to a number of people who are like, hey, we need a Bitcoin LLM. I've had that conversation like 3 times in the last 2 weeks. So there's definitely something there. Specifically about Worldcoin. So Worldcoin's trying to solve a really hard problem that's really important that they're probably not going to be able to solve. And it's audacious. When you look at these raises, it's sometimes instructive to look at who are the people, not on the funding side, but whose project is it? And when you look at somebody like Sam Altman, that's a dude who prints money, right? Like it's, again, like much of kind of the venture capital conversation is less about projects and more about the kind of comfort that you have with a particular person who you are investing in. And Sam Altman has clearly proven himself as somebody who's able to raise large amounts of capital and deliver on projects, although not everything that he does is a success. It's worth kind of just talking about kind of the other side of the story, which is that hard problem that they're trying to solve, which is how do you get around the global Sybil problem, right? If you're going to do something like universal basic income, how do you pull that off in a way where it isn't just going to be totally abused by, billions of people around the world? And more importantly, so that, people who sort of systematically cheat, like organizations and stuff like that, can't like acquire information that would allow them to benefit where they shouldn't. And that's kind of where I think this starts to break down, is that to the extent that you incentivize eyeball scans, well, all you're really doing is saying, hey, if you want to steal my identity, you need to steal my eyeball, or at least something that can look like my eyeball. And I don't think those are good incentives to set up. We've already seen this start to play out, not exactly like not in a gruesome way or anything like that, but we've already seen the system start to break down in China, where a black market has already emerged and people are paying as little as $20 for iris scans that have already been registered within the system. So I think that, again, like it's a hard problem. I don't really expect these people to solve it because I don't really know if it can be solved. And I think the problems that we have are kind of deeper than it goes. But we'll see what happens. Zach?
I just wanted to echo that I think Sam Altman is the new main character in the world of tech, and this is very much a bet on Sam Altman, right? It's addressed in the post. Sam and Alex are the co-founders. Blockchain Capital thinks Alex might become a household name soon, but it is very sure that Sam Altman is sort of the main character in the world of tech, and now also potentially in the world of crypto, which is kind of fascinating to watch unfold. Jen, what's the last word on this one?
Yeah, we say so much when we talk about this project, like scanning your eyeballs is scary and who would want to do this? And as I was reading the story, I thought, like, as soon as convenience is introduced and there is a reason for people to scan their eyeballs, they're going to do it. You look at Clear at the airport, that's a private company. As soon as you see that long line, I've witnessed people, without thinking twice, sign up for the app, scan their biometrics, and pass the line. And so I just have to say, we say that all the time, but as soon as convenience is introduced, people are going to be scanning their eyeballs.